Okay, good morning, all of you. Let's start our today's session. So, yesterday in our previous session, we talked about the margins, paddings. Then, after that, we have also discussed about the border styles, right? After that, font families, okay, font properties. And after that, we have talked about all type of positionings, right? So positionings are very important factors to place your element at the actual place, right? So that you have to understand. Today also we are going to see some another types, okay? 3 or 4 types. But before that, today we are going to start with the CSS layout and structure, right? So what is the meaning of this CSS layout and structure, right? So the fundamental, or you can say the basic idea behind CSS is to separate formatting and styling rules from the content, right? So structure of document can be maintained by breaking the page into logical sections with division elements. So here you can see that in our examples also, now we are using division tags, division and span tag to divide our page into logical sections. Okay, now today the main thing we are going to discuss, that is known as the CSS navigations bar, right? So if you have observed, there are different types of navigations we are seeing in the web pages. Either it is in a horizontal, right? Suppose this is horizontal. Suppose it is a vertical, right? So here some list are there. Okay, we also known this as a menu, right? Menu is also one kind of navigation bar. Okay, so if you want to create a menu kind of navigation bar, either in a horizontal or in a vertical section, right? So you have to follow this particular syntaxes, right? So recently in HTML 5.2, they have introduced the menu tag, but menu tag is right now currently in an experimental mode. Many of the things are not well defined, right? So that's why it is under process, work under process for the menu, right? But they are working on that, and in future we are also going to see a separate menu for creating menus for navigations, right? But nowadays people are using this particular formula, right? Right, navigation bar is equals to list of links. So as we know, the use of anchor tag, so the use of anchor tag is from navigating from one page to another page, so we can use that. That is one combination. Another one is the list items. You can create a list, right? And with different CSS property like a display is equals to block, inline, right? So with the use of these properties, you can create navigation bar. Okay. So by combination, by combining all these CSS properties, you can generate a particular beautiful navigation bar. Okay, so let's see how we can generate the navigation bar. Either it is a horizontally or it is a vertically. So here, suppose say for example, if I want to generate this kind of menu, now onwards I will talk as a menu, right? So first of all, you have to create an unordered list like this. So we have already discussed how to create unordered list. So for that, you can use UL, and list items you can go for. Then you can create like home, about us, community, and carriers. So these are the 4 menu items I have. Next step, you can generate the, you can say ID and whatever for the styling, but only list item will not work. So what you need to do over here, you have to combine list item with the anchor tag, with the anchor tag. So in between anchor tag, you have to put all the list items. Now your list item is clickable. Now your list item is a clickable entity. Okay. Why I have put hash over here? Right now for the demonstration purpose, I don't want to navigate to any page. So I just put hash. So whenever I click on a home button, it will refresh my page. But suppose I have designed the home page, right? So instead of href equal to hash, I need to write href equal to home.html. So what it will do over here, whenever I click on this, then it will navigate to home.html page. Similarly, about us, community and careers, right? So it is a very simple agenda over here. First of all, you have to create an order list, and all the list items you have to put in between the anchor tag. That's it, guys, right? Now the rest of the part will be taken care by CSS. Okay, so let's go for it. Okay, so here now as you see that we have generated ID, right? ID is equals to has ul unorder list NB. So now by default the list will generate like this. Okay, but I don't want that. I don't want this styling. So what I can set list style property I need to touch, and I just provide the value as a none. So without any bullet points, your list is going to be generated. Okay. Now what other properties you can set? You can set the float property. So float property we have discussed in yesterday's session. Either you can float at the left, either you can float at the right. You can set the background color of the linked list. You can set margin padding properties, width and height properties. Yes, this one is dash decoration equal to none. So by default, our links are comes with the underline. So I don't want to see underline over here. If you want, then you can. But if you don't want underlines, then what you can do, text decoration none. Overflow is equals to hidden, right? So overflow property also we have seen yesterday. And today also I'm going to discuss about the overflow after navigation bar. So what is the meaning of overflow? As I told you that some of the contents are goes beyond this boundary. So suppose this is my division, this is my content. So I don't want this content to be go beyond. I want all my content within the particular boundary, right? So for that you can set the overflow property. There are different ways here, hidden, scroll, fixed, whatever you want to set, right? So now you can see over here, these many properties you can set to create a navigation bar, right? So suppose if you want to create a navigation bar, so these are the simple steps, right? Again, I'm revising that. First of all, you have to create the unordered list. After that unordered list, you have to put all the list items between the anchor tag. And after that, you have to set this particular CSS properties to generate the navigation bar. So let's talk about vertical navigation bar. So you can see over here, guys. So to build a vertical navigation bar, we need a style anchor elements. Anchor elements in addition to the list code. So here you have to provide anchor tag and you have to set display property as a block. So it will display like this. Display property as a block and width is equals to 60 pixel, right? So display equal to blocks, you have to remember this property, displays the links as a block element and make a whole area, link area clickable, not just a text, right? And it allows to specify particular width. So you can see over here. So the one example is over here and second example is over here. You can generate any kind of, you can say, navigation bar. So this is a vertical. This is vertical navigation bar. Either you can float it at the left side, you can float it at the right side, according to your requirements, right? Next is horizontal navigation bar. So here, instead of vertical, we are going to provide menu like this, horizontally navigation bar. So for that, instead of display block, you have to use display inline, right? Or you can use a floating list item property. Okay. So in one of the example, I will show you how this particular thing works. So you will get the better idea, right? Then if you want the links to be a same size, you have to use a floating property. So floating property we have discussed in yesterday's session, so you are aware of it, right? So this is the horizontal navigation bar. So you can see over here, guys, you can generate vertical navigation bar, or you can just use horizontal. Now here, how you can set the inline property. So as I told you that instead of display equal to block, you have to use display inline, right? So by default, all the li elements are block. Okay. So here we remove the line breaks. So what will happen over here? By default, list items are displaying like this. But when I set display equal to inline, then line breaks will be removed and it will display like this. So it will convert it from vertical to horizontal. It will convert it from vertical to horizontal. That's it, guys. That you have to remember for this display equal to inline. Okay, right? So these are the important CSS properties to generate these. Here we have a floating property. So whenever you are going for display equal to block, then whether you want to float your content at the left side or you want to float your content to the right side. So that you can decide over here with the use of float property, right? So these are the important properties. So let's go for the example. So actually you can get the idea how these properties are working. So for that, I have created the code over here. So first of all, we go for the horizontal navigation bar or a vertical navigation bar. So let me increase the font size. Okay, right? So here, first of all, what is our requirement? Our requirement is you have to create one unordered list. So you all are aware that you are going to create the unordered list, right? Either you can use this styling or you can use whatever style I have provided into the particular PPT, right? Both are valid. So here, instead of anchor tag, I have put a text in an anchor tag, right? So both works fine, right? Now, you can see over here that this is a very simple list. Now we want to make it according to our requirement. So first of all, whenever I hover and whenever the active link is there, then I just need to change the background color. Okay. Whenever default list, default link and visited link. So I want to set the style like this. Okay. And for the UL, list style type is equals to none. Okay. And for display, I have a block. Right? So as this is a vertical, I have display equal to block. And I have set the properties and text decoration property equal to none. So underline will not be there, right? So now suppose if I execute this code, so you can see over here, let me zoom it. So it will display like this. So now here, whenever I hover, then it will change the background color. You can observe that. Okay. And whenever I click, So you can see here, after that it will provide a hash home, right? So that hash home where I have defined in href. You can just write hash, or you can write hash home, whatever you want, right? But it will stick to the same page, right? For the hover, you can see whatever background property I have changed, it is like this, darker, and the normal color is this background color of my block, right? So you can observe that over here. So this is our horizontal navigation bar. This is our vertical navigation bar, sorry, right? So you can see it is very simple code. First of all, for UL, you have to set this property, right? After that, link visited, you have to set this property, all this property. After that, hover and active, you have this property. And very first in a body section, you have to create this particular list items, right? Similarly, now I want to make it horizontal. So you can see over here, right? The same thing is there. First of all, you have to create, same example I took. First of all, you have to create this unordered list. For the same, hover and active, background color will be changed. Now, for the UL, here you can see that this is list type none, margin padding 00, overflow equal to hidden, right? So here I have set overflow equal to hidden. So suppose this is my horizontal bar, right? So when I mouse hover, it contains this area only, right? Suppose my text is bigger than this, then it will be hidden. Okay. So for that, I have used overflow equal to hidden. I have used li float left hand side, and for display equal to block I have used, right? Here width, background color, text decoration, text transform, all these properties I have used, right? So now suppose if you run this code, then it will look like this. It will look like this. So here you can see about, right? When I click on this, hash home will be there. Okay. When I click on a news, contacts, about, right? So you can see this kind of horizontal menu you can set. Okay. Now you can generate this in a different way also. So if I want to make it with the inline property and float property, so here is the example. So this is very simple one, guys. So you have to create an order list similarly. Now, what changes I have done, that for the UL, same style not equal to none. But for LI, instead of that block, I have used display equal to float. So whenever you go for display equal to float, then you can see that is very common. By default, so this is home, news, contacts, and about. Why this underline is coming? Because I have not set text decoration property none, right? You can see this I have kept is default. But what I want to show you that whenever you go for display equal to float, then it will be displayed like this as usual. Now suppose if I want to make it horizontal, then instead of float, I can go for inline. I can go for inline. And now if I refresh the page, then you can see that our output will be in a horizontal manner, right? So this is our output. You can see. So I hope now you got the difference between display equal to float and display equal to inline, right? So this is the examples of navigation bar, and it is very easy to create a navigation bar. Are we clear with this, guys? Is there any doubt up to this, anyone? Shall I move
No, sir.
ahead?
No, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now let's discuss about the overflow property. This is again very important property. So for the overflow property, you can set 4 possible values. First is a visible, second one is a hidden, then scroll and auto, right? So what is the meaning of overflow? Overflow means it's by default it is a visible, it overflows, spills over the box. Okay, right? So let me tell you how this particular thing works. Okay, you can observe over here, whenever I set overflow equal to visible, you can see. So what happens? This is my first area and this is my second division. But as overflow property is visible, you can see the content of first box will be displayed in a second box as well. So it overflows. So it overflows. Second one. Suppose if I go for overflow equal to hidden, then only up to the first box border my content will be displayed. After that, whatever content is there, it is not going to be displayed. Right? So what it will do, your content will stick to these boundaries only. It will not go beyond that. Right. Suppose if I want to see that. So for that, I want to go for a scroll. So what I can do here, when I set as a scroll, then scroll bars will be there automatically. So with the use of scroll bar, you can see the overall content. And wrap. So you can see that this particular thing goes outside this box. When you set as a wrap, then it will come into this particular, within this particular box. So by looking at this, by observing these pictures, you can see that how this particular overflow property is working. And it is very much important whenever you specially deal with the contents. Okay, guys, right? So I have also created these examples. So let me show you. If I have, okay. Okay, right. So here is the first example. Okay. In this particular example, you can see that I have created 2 classes, that is default and visible, and set these properties, right? And here I have said overflow is equals to visible, right? What happens over here? Let's look at this code. If you observe, if I run this code, then you can see this. The same example, whatever I have shown in the PPT, that I have created over here. Right? So this is the particular overflow property. So you just need to write overflow colon visible. Overflow colon visible. Okay. Here is the code. Here is the output. You can see that. For that, what you need to set, you just need to go for formatting your divisions, and then you can just go for overflow property. Now let's go for hidden. Right? So for the hidden, you can see that this is our division. I have created one ID, that is overflow dash invisible, right? And as we know that when you create ID, then you have to put hash overflow invisible. So here you have to set overflow colon hidden, overflow colon hidden, and width and height of the box, right? And the content. So now if I execute this code, then you can see the same output, whatever I have shown in the PPT. You can observe over here, whatever content goes beyond that, that is not going to be displayed over here. So that is hidden. That is hidden. So it is very simple code. You just need to set these properties, right? And you can just create the example. Let's go for scroll one. So scroll one is also similar. I just change the property from overflow to scroll. Okay. So now if I execute this code and if I make it zoom, so you can see clearly this scroll bars. So with the use of scroll bars, you can navigate, and you can see the content, whole content will be there, right? And here is the overflow wrap property. Okay, so you can see that both the examples, first one is a normal. So in a overflow wrap normal, all the contents are goes beyond the box. In the second one, overflow wrap property, right? Break the words. These are the things, right? So how to set that? So for that, you have to just set these two properties. Overflow wrap normal, overflow wrap break. And content, you can put any of the content for demonstration purpose. But this is the particular style for this example, overflow wrap property. Right? So this is the particular things I wanted to discuss in today's session, right? In tomorrow's session, I'm going to discuss about new CSS3 properties, okay? And probably tomorrow I am going to finish this CSS chapter, right? So I will convey all the